วัสดีค่ะมีต้อนรับด้านหลังด้วยนะคะปรบมือได้ค่ะปรบมือได้ค่ะสวัสดีนะคะท่านผู้บริหารค่ะแขกผู้มีเกียรติพี่ๆสื่อมวลชนทุกท่านนะคะดิฉันเฟื่องระดาสราณีสงวนเรืองนะคะยินดีเป็นอย่างยิ่งที่ได้กลับมาทำหน้าที่พิธีกรบนเวทีนี้อีกหนึ่งครั้งนะคะต้อนรับทุกท่านค่ะเข้าสู่งานสัมมนา Headstart 2019 นะคะ reinvent digital platform ค่ะจัดโดยบริษัท Avalant จำกัดนั่นเองนะคะภายในงานวันนี้นะคะจริงๆจัดตั้งแต่เช้ามาเลยนะคะยาวไปจนถึงตอนเย็นก็ถือว่าเป็นงานครั้งสำคัญนะคะที่เราจะได้มาอัปเดตเทรนด์เทคโนโลยีด้วยกันนะคะก็ในนามของบริษัท Avalant จำกัดนะคะซึ่งก็เป็นบริษัทที่มีความเชี่ยวชาญทางด้านการพัฒนาดิจิทัลแพลตฟอร์มแล้วก็ Cloud Solution ชั้นนำของประเทศไทยแล้วก็เป็นบริษัทไทยรายแรกด้วยนะคะที่ได้รับมาตรฐานระดับโลกค่ะด้านการพัฒนาซอฟต์แวร์ขั้นสูงสุด CMMI Level 5 เป็นที่ยอมรับในระดับสากลนะคะตลอดทั้ง17 ปีที่ผ่านมานะคะองค์กรก็ได้รับความไว้วางใจจากลูกค้าทุกระดับนะคะตั้งแต่องค์กรขนาดใหญ่ในกลุ่มธุรกิจทางด้านการเงินและธนาคารธุรกิจประกันภัยนะคะกลุ่มอุตสาหกรรมธุรกิจโทรคมนาคมธุรกิจค้าปลีกกลุ่มบริการสุขภาพหน่วยงานราชการแล้วก็รัฐวิสาหกิจต่างๆมากมายนะคะแล้วก็ปีนี้บริษัท Avalant จำกัดนะคะก็ได้รับคัดเลือกให้เป็นหนึ่งในตัวแทนประเทศไทยเข้าประกวดรางวัลอาเซียน ICT Award 2019 ด้วยยังไงก็ขอฝากทุกท่านเป็นกำลังใจให้กับทางบริษัท Avalant ด้วยนะคะวันนี้ค่ะ Headstart 2019 ค่ะ reinvent digital platform ก็จะเป็นการแชร์ประสบการณ์แล้วก็เทคโนโลยีล่าสุดนะคะจากบริษัท Avalant จำกัดค่ะแล้วก็พันธมิตรทางด้านเทคโนโลยีมากมายนะคะก่อนเดินเข้างานมาทุกท่านอาจจะพอได้เห็นได้ไปเยี่ยมชมบูธกันมาบ้างนะคะก็จะมีการอธิบายบรรยายเรื่องเกี่ยวกับเทคโนโลยีที่น่าสนใจมากมายเลยไม่ว่าจะเป็นเรื่องของ low code platform นะคะ business automation robotic process Cloud Native Smart City Blockchain เทคโนโลยี 5G นะคะ Big Data AI รวมไปถึง Machine Learning ด้วยแล้วก็ที่น่าสนใจเป็นอย่างยิ่งหลายๆท่านอาจจะเคยได้ยินข่าวมาบ้างแต่อาจจะยังไม่เคยเห็นของจริงนะคะเทคโนโลยีที่ชื่อว่า Brain Computer Interface ค่ะที่จะสามารถช่วยเหลือผู้พิการหรือว่าผู้ด้อยโอกาสนะคะให้สามารถใช้ชีวิตได้แบบคนปกติซึ่งเป็นเทคโนโลยีที่นอกจากจะทันสมัยแล้วยังช่วยพัฒนาคุณภาพชีวิตนะคะของสังคมเป็นปรัชญาเดียวกันกับทางบริษัทค่ะที่ต้องการพัฒนาเทคโนโลยีให้ช่วยเหลือสังคมได้ด้วยนะคะก็เป็นการโชว์นะคะของเทคโนโลยีของทั้งบริษัท Avalant แล้วก็พันธมิตรที่มาร่วมกันในวันนี้ช่วงเช้าค่ะ wrap up นิดนึงนะคะเรามี deep dive session ซึ่งก็เริ่มต้นมาตั้งแต่ 9 โมงเช้าเป็นการโชว์เคสแพลตฟอร์มของ ONEWEB เวอร์ชันใหม่ล่าสุดของบริษัท Avalant เลยนะคะมีพัฒนาการมาจากเวอร์ชันเดิมอย่างมากลงรายละเอียดแต่ละฟีเจอร์ดีไซน์ต่างๆแล้วก็ architecture ของแพลตฟอร์มซึ่งระหว่างงานสัมมนานี้ถ้าท่านแขกผู้มีเกียรติท่านใดนะคะสงสัยหรือว่าสนใจเพิ่มเติมเกี่ยวกับ ONEWEB แพลตฟอร์มของบริษัท Avalant จำกัดเนี่ยเรามีห้อง Lotus Suite 13 นะคะที่ให้ทุกท่านสามารถ walk in แล้วก็สอบถามข้อมูลจากทางทีมงานของบริษัทได้ตลอดเวลาเลยนะคะแล้วก็สำหรับใครที่กำลังมองหาเรื่องของ workforce นะคะการหากำลังพล talent ต่างๆที่จะมาช่วยขับเคลื่อนองค์กรในยุคดิจิทัลได้อย่างดีเนี่ยเราก็จะมีเซสชั่นเวลา 15:45 นาทีถึง 17:50 นาทีนะคะก็นำเสนอ workforce platform ซึ่งเป็นแพลตฟอร์มที่รองรับการบริหารจัดการทรัพยากรบุคคลแบบบูรณาการท่านที่ลงทะเบียนไว้แล้วนะคะก็สามารถที่จะจอยเซสชันนี้ได้นะคะหลังจากเบรกตอนบ่าย 3:30 ค่ะแล้วก็ไปได้ที่ห้อง Lotus Suite 14 นะคะกิจกรรมแน่นๆตลอดทั้งวันนะคะก็วันนี้เตรียมกันมารับความรู้อย่างเต็มเปี่ยมนะคะซึ่งสปีกเกอร์ของเราท่านแรกพร้อมแล้วนะคะสำหรับการขึ้นบนเวทีนี้นะคะก็เราได้รับเกียรตินะคะจากประธานผู้บริหารและกรรมการบริษัท Avalant จำกัดเดี๋ยวจะขอมอบเวทีนี้ให้กับท่านเลยนะคะขึ้นมาเป็น Keynote Speaker ท่านแรกของเรานั่นเองค่ะขอเสียงประมือดังๆนะคะต้อนรับคุณอัครพลบุญวรเศรษฐ์ค่ะ
The world never stops moving. Technology replaces human and takes over our jobs. Global community trades without borders. Status quo will kill your business. Winners embrace technologies. You can be winner by starting with the right vision. Platform and tools drive innovations in digital age. Much easier better and faster, so you don't have to waste time with what you're not good at. You can focus on your core business and do what you love. You can spend more time giving back to society. You can innovate and go to market quickly. And take care of your loved ones anywhere, anytime. With the right platform, you can be maker. You can live the life you dream of, whether making it yourself or building a team to do it. Let's build digital economy together. Transform your business, transform your world, together with us.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's been my honor to be here today, to be able to host all of you, executives, distinguished guests, customers, business partners as well. And really, thank you for your time for joining us today. Today is one of the first events that we have done on the technology update on our own platform and also the technology from our partner as well. Let me start with my brief history of myself. I am a software developer as well in the past. And one of the languages I learned is the basic programming language. I learned this when I was in high school. One day on my trip back from school back home, I was riding a red bus. Some of you may know. It costs about 3 baht per trip. One of my friends are holding this book called Basic Programming Language, this thick. And then I'm so curious, so what is it, right? We're supposed to be learning English, German, Japanese, so that we can get good jobs in the future, right? I'm curious because, so I asked my friend, so what this book is about? So he went, let's go check out yourself. So this is kind of the technology that we foreseeing that people are sometimes, be not open about what they know. And so it's difficult for me as someone who doesn't know about computer at all to try to get to learn this new technology. But anyway, a few years later, my father hired developers. He would come into our house every evening, typing the codes away, so he would do the software for our family business. So my father bought a PCs, which is at the time was 86 computers, and which is still loading the OS with a floppy disk, as some of you may have seen that in the past. So I was wondering what he's doing. So my father is kind enough to actually host him dinner as well. So over the past few months, he was just, after his work at the corporates, he came into our house, putting a few hours of work, writing programs for my father's business. So that's how I got to know about software. So I myself tried to help my father by, a few years later, I would just try to do it myself using basic programming language, but not too successful because of my little knowledge about software programming. So that's how hard it is for me, who love logics, love systematic thinking, to be able to do something. But today, we will try to introduce you to technologies, a platform that can help myself, makers, to do that. So this is my example of one of the warehouse, usually in auto part business. In Thailand, this is a typical pictures of my warehouse would look like. So I helped my dad writing a software for inventory trackings using basics programming language. But these days probably thrown away already. Now, then come internet. When I was studying at Carnegie Mellon, the Java came out. So I said, wow, this is probably the future and probably the ultimate language. And then I don't have to learn any new language anymore because Java is supposed to be write once, run anywhere. So so excited about it. And then later on, J2EE come out, so internet started booming. So after schools, I worked for Deloitte Consulting for 4 years. This is one of the projects we have done, which is probably at the time with Deloitte, probably the biggest project I've owned. We have integrated about 30 systems, putting in e-commerce, and this customer is HP in Cupertino, California. We're putting in 30 systems integrating together. E-commerce using Broad Vision. At the time, I think in 2000, Broad Vision is probably the most popular software in the world. But now, no one heard about Broad Vision, right? And then we integrate that with SAP as a backend system, Oracle as an HR system, FedEx as a logistics system, for example. So the project takes about 12 to 24 months for completions, about 100 of consultants. At the time, it's very complex. So we got my companies, Deloitte, we got middleware as well. We're using middleware called Cbion, which is acquired by Sun, acquired by Oracle, and now I think it's part of Oracle. So we putting that together in a very complex environment, a lot of companies working together, try to get it happen. And at the end of the day, we get the project to launch, but a very tough one. So that's what it is. I think this one is 1999, 20, something like that. So it's 19 years. So fast forward, what's wrong with traditional IT projects, right? First of all, time to market. To get things to work, you have to put in 20, 30 package software, for example, or 20 technology putting together. Takes so much time to do it. Complexity. And most of the project get really derailed because of the complexity of the technology used. The resources to do it is quite difficult to find. And also, the complexity of the technology itself, how to make that integrate together. That's why in the past, we are hiring big 5 companies like Accenture, Deloitte, KPMG, put that together and very costly. And also, one common theme of these traditional projects is a very coding intensive, meaning that you need to know the language of each platform. Example for my last project, for the project I talked about a few minutes ago, Broad Vision used C++. Cbion used their own scripting language called Monk. I don't know why they call Monk, but it's called Monk script. SAP using ABAP, right? FedEx written by .NET. So it got very complicated, right? You gotta have specialists for each product to work together as a team. Hence the value of system integrators. And the other common theme is big team, because you're gonna need a lot of people working in parallel. So a lot of cost was put into management of the project rather than producing outcome for the end users. No reuse. Why? Because when you put all this complexity together in one project, when the consultant left the project, customer are left also with a source code that's proprietary written. How you can maintain those interface programs? How you can maintain those, web pages that was written by a consultant, before you do maintenance. So this is the pain points that at Avalant we are trying to solve for the past 17 years. And we have come up with one technology that we'll show you today. So I think we call this the maker platform. Why? Because we want to be able to create a technology, tools for an ordinary makers who doesn't have to have a computer science degree or engineering degree to be able to build something to build value in our economy, because especially in Thailand, we have a very shortage of resources. It's very difficult for us to build engineers to compete with Vietnam or India, where they probably have 100,000, 100 million of engineers in the country. But how do we compete? Right? How do we going to drive our digital economy like our government wants? So we think this is the solutions. So the platform itself is, the core concept of our platform will consist of 6 components that I think will address whatever you need to build your solution. Of course, the first one is user interfaces. Is the essence of the problem you've probably seen in many projects. How to get it to work properly on all devices, on all platforms, very difficult. How to get your user interfaces to be friendly, loaded quick, high performance. How do we do that? Not counting the fact that sometimes, iOS changed the technologies, changed the APIs, changed the libraries. How do you handle that? Give you some examples. So one day iOS changed the API for the security. The person who done the previous version already left. How do you manage to update the version to the end users? So a lot of pain we have seen in the user interface development. So hopefully our platform can address that. The next one, which is very important. A lot of you may not think it's important, but to me it's very important. Why? Because if you build this digital platform where you can attract end users, number of transactions increase, how do you handle backend services? In the US, there's a startup called Zenefits. Zenefits is a HR cloud software. But their business model are not just a SaaS provider. They are providing financial services as well based on the user from the HR platform. They are selling insurance, so they're trying to be an insurance broker to sell also loan financial services to the user who use their platform, which is I think is a really interesting idea, and it's really should be a profitable one. But the CEO left the company, and one of the reasons is that they were able to bring in a lot of users onto the platform, but they fail at back-end processing. They cannot handle those insurance applications, the claim processing from their end users. So they end up having a lot of manual people working on the back office, try to streamline the process. Then that's never happened. So they stopped providing insurance services to their end users. So they're just being a SaaS company, like Salesforce, for example. So that's the important backend services, especially for the enterprise, to be able to ensure that you can handle the incoming transaction throughout your back office operations. And automation is something we also want to focus. We want you to be able to automate the process, to integrate with an AI or robotic process automation to get your end-to-end turnaround time to near zero. And the fourth component is the connectivities, right? You cannot live alone these days. So you need a cloud technologies where you can plug in to a third-party services through the legacy systems and so on. So I think this is also very straightforward and really required if you want to do the digital platform. And scalability is something we also care about. So our architectures is designed to be cloud native, meaning that you can port our applications, our platform, to run on any cloud environment these days. Through the help of containerization technology, OpenShift, Kubernetes, services, for example. So we are able to launch the platform very easily and quickly. Finally, security is something we care about. So we decided to build our own identity access management systems which allow you to act as identity providers, and we support open standard like OpenID, for example. So in the end, we hopefully we want to be ONEWEB as the tool for you to get you the speed you need to compete in the market. How do we do that? So what's wrong with traditional coding? Well, it's nothing wrong with the traditional coding, but it doesn't meet our speed demand. I still believe that we still need coding on the deep technologies like getting the machine learning system to work, getting the algorithm, to deep algorithm to service your end users. But there are works that's really labor intensive, like coding the UI, like data mapping, like process controls. Those, to me, I think we should move it to the technology we call these days low code or no code at all. So we can reduce the cost, go to market quickly, and then address the outcome that matters for our end customers. So next slide, I will show you the brief videos on ONEWEB technologies. That's what we call low code, because you still need to do some coding, of course, but I think it's a lot less than before and a lot less painful than before. So, okay, let me take. So these UIs just show you how easy it is for us to design the UI, for example. We just drag and drop. We provide the components, data structures, for you to actually put that together to serve your end user journey. It may look easy, but of course there are some learning curve required. But once you learn it, you can actually build it yourself, which is the key concept of what we are trying to do. And we know that this concept may not be, as highly adopted now, but I think this is the future. This is something that we should be taking a look at. So it's not only you build the user interfaces, you can also make it to integrate with services from your backend systems, your front-end system, your internet service provider, for example. You just do the data mapping, configurations, making it work. Think about how much time has been, eliminated from, traditional coding, mapping, getting your API to work, configuring your system to talk to database, to put files, to FTP files to the servers. Those activities can be done completely within the tools. And the other good thing about this is that when you have new person joining a team, when you work on an agile environment, the user requirement, the user demand may come in an ad hoc way, so you need to be able to address them. How to address them? So, you train this to the developers, making it work, putting together. Next person come in, he or she can take a look at the configurations done by the previous developers and try to change something. So this is a concept we call low code, and it become increasingly popular these days. So we had created this 7-8 years ago, continuing to develop the next versions to ensure that you got what you need to build your digital platform. Based on Gartner data from 2019, Gartner has launched the first ever low-code report, which covered 200 plus vendors in the market, the entire world, on the low-code platform providers. And the result is very amazing. The result of the research said that 65% of application to be built within 2024 will be either a low-code or no-code platform. So imagine what is the trend in the next 10 years. Our kids coming out of schools, they will demand tools like Wix.com. They will demand WordPress-like tools. They're probably not going to be going to write Java code entirely for the projects. So this is what we call maker. The maker doesn't need to have advanced skills, but getting that creativity, experience, desire, motivation to be successful, to build the end user outcome. That's something that is going to come very soon, we believe. And of course, with the cloud shift model, it makes it a lot easier for startups, right? For students, for even employees within the enterprise, to actually starting their innovative units to build something for the end user, end customers. And that's very important because you want the speed and flexibility of getting the solution out to the market quickly. And the cloud does that. And we have a few partners here today who actually provide a cloud solution like IBM, Red Hat, Oracle, Tiburcio, for example. So they're all moving toward a cloud infrastructures. So the other stats that's quite amazed me is that 50% of the software, there will be 50% decline in the software installation on traditional data centers. By traditional data center, I mean you're putting a VM, machine, install the software on your data centers. So this is also an amazing concept. So that's within the next 3 years. So imagine 6 years from now, there may be very little software on traditional data centers. But of course, we still have a public cloud and a private cloud and a hybrid that will replace the traditional data centers. So with all these stats from a reliable sources like Gartner, so we often see that all roads is leading to low code and cloud. So these are the two themes that I think, or we think that will be becoming very important, especially in our region in a few years from now. But we better prepare for it, I think. We should try the pilot on it to ensure that we know what it is. We know how to get this to serve your business. So that's the index that I already talked about. So that's why we are here today, to introduce you to this concept and help you transition to that area. And the other stats I want to point out is the decline in the traditional data center systems. There will be 2.6% decline in the use of traditional data centers. So what if, right? What if I believe in myself, the future is not developer building things. The future is makers, right? Who can have the business knowledge, who has the experience, who has the desire to do it. They will build things. They won't wait. They won't wait for developer to do things. They are waiting now because there are some barriers. There are barriers for them to do, right? But if we completely destroy the barriers, giving them tools, giving them infrastructures, flexible, elastic infrastructures, tools, platform, then anyone will be able to be a makers. This is the paper from Harvard University earlier this year as well, that you better give the end users ability to build. That's the future. As I said before, right, building apps or building a software or whatnot is one thing, right? But the ability to have the engine, the back-end processing to serve your business is very critical, right? So I'll go through highlights real quick of what they call the engine room. Working in the back-end, getting your business running. So in the 3 layers architecture in this slide, of course you are talking about the system of engagement where you do the interaction with end users. And then you have system records, right, to store your business transactions, your ERP, your mainframe, your legacy systems and whatnot. But what's really important in the future is also the system of intelligence. Intelligence, by intelligence, we mean it's not the user interfaces, it's the rules, it's the process behind it, it's the algorithms that help run business, it's the robots, right, that will work hand in hand with you in the future. Actually now, a lot of our customers are going through robotic process to replace manual, repetitive tasks to get the business value out of your operations. So how do we do that, right? The process orchestration layer is the layer where you actually control the activities in your entire business process. It could be human approval flow. It could be system, programming rules. It could be events that are happening in real time. How do you control them, right? Remember Zenefits I talked about, which is at one time really hot, probably the hottest SaaS startup in the US. Now fail because they cannot handle process orchestrations. Then you talked about algorithms, right? Just to give you high-level definitions. In the past, you may have a logic in your programs. You can write a credit scoring programs. You can write an inventory checking validation programs using C, C++, Java, or whatnot. But nowadays, with algorithms, it's totally different. You don't write a code for them. You train them to make it work. You train them with data. You train them with examples. I can give you an example of what we've done with the customers and also our R&D projects. We work with an insurance company to get the data from the claim accidents, feed that to machine learning, visual recognition, to try to identify the damage for the claim incidents and be able to assess the value of the claim. Where is the damage in the car? Whether it's a bumper, is the wheels, or the glass was broken. And then use that to automatically underwrite the claims or assess the claims. We're doing it now, and within a few weeks, we will show that in one of the machine learning events with Chulalongkorn University to host it. That's example of the algorithms. We don't write a single code. We prepare the data for AI, pre-process them, train them what the damage look like, train them the vehicle models, the incidents, pictures, and then they predict where the damage is with the 99% confidence. No single line codes, just data processing and machine learning techniques. That's, I think, will also be the futures of algorithms that will be running in our entire business. You pick it, right? Of course, face recognition is very simple, face app, right? Cancer detections, for instance. And I think one of the current jobs, like radiologists, are now thinking in the past. Because 10 years ago, Indian outsourcing can do radiologists much cheaper than the American or the European. So the work is outsourced to the Indian companies to do the radiologists to review your MRI scans. But now, technology can do it much faster and much cheaper. That leaves the problem with the outsourcing companies. So I personally believe that algorithm will kill a lot of jobs, unfortunately, but we as a human can actually work with them to try to train them or come up with a better algorithm and better value for customers. That's why, we talk about deep learning technology, AI. For those of you who are not a deep technology persons, I just explained it easily before that we train them, let them run through the data. we supervise them with the right data sets, then magically they just predict the next move better than us. So that's what it is. And we don't own deep learning technologies. We using our partners like IBM's, Watson's, Power AI, Google TensorFlows available in the markets. So it's up to us to go pick them up and try to create some solutions for our customers. And then, of course, we talk about robots, right? Very popular topics. When I say robots, I mean digital software robots, not the mechanical arms in the factories. Those are, for mechanical, for your factories. But these software robots, they are doing the task that we ourselves doing it. For instance, my admins could be getting my PO from the customers, look at the PO, type into my order processing systems, and then validate the information manually or with eyes. But with robotic process automations, you can do that using the robots. Again, you configure them, train them how it works, and then let it run. Help you in the office so that you can go work on something else more important. So the example of robotics process automations, you can use it to put in data from Excel, for example, put into SAP, email your customers, or even put in your line group, for examples. You name it, right? So the robots is designed to work as a human, but with your predefined rules and logics. So you can eliminate those jobs, right? Give it to the robots. And then you can go do a more advanced task that require human interactions. So what robots can help you, right? It can give you a 3x productivity, I think at least 3x productivity increase on the repetitive task. I state again, repetitive task, not every task. The task that normally you would hire admin to do it, or a task that your salespeople are doing it and it wastes your time. Go talk to customers. Of course, it works 24 hours. If managed properly, it could be 24 hours running for you. Of course, no insurance, no leave. So it's running that for you 24/7. And with robotic process projects, we found that we actually, after doing it, we actually reduce the activities, unnecessary activities within the project, within the process as well. So there's many benefits of putting that together. But of course, we rely on solid technology and platform, which our partner like IBM has a booth here today to also showcase you the technology as well. And more than that, it's not just putting Excel, email together. With the visual recognition technologies, it can scan your PO and understand this is a PO, not the sales order. Understand this is the inventory checklist, not the service ticket, for example. So there are things that you can actually do with the automatic capture technology, which our partner IBM can explain that to you. And lastly, it's also about decisions. There are a lot of decision rules in our organization today that need to be automated. For instance, the credit verification rules, the insurance underwriting rules, for example. Those are, your end users using Excel to actually make decisions. Give that to the robots, to the automations. At least if you can kill those 80% of the transactions using the robots, save a lot of money already. And one of the most important element of automation is APIs, right? You need to be able to plug in and talk to your partners, your banks, right? Your fintechs, your InsurTech, for example, through API. And I think we are partnering with technology platforms like IBM, Red Hat, on the API management technologies, which I think will fit in very well with our ONEWEB platform, so that you can get the end-to-end cloud solution for your projects. So with these changes in terms of automations, robotics and AI, so what's coming, right? This is the picture of a traditional 3-tier operation design, operation model, per se. We've seen a lot of companies like big enterprise or even banks has 3-tier operating models. One is the front office, where you have a branch to serve customers interactively. You have the middle office, try to get your application feed in from fax machine, typing away, data quality controls, sometimes outsourced to Indian, for example. Paper processing, workflows, right, in the middle office. And then you got the back office where you do all your accounting, your data calculation, receivables, policy issuance, for example. So those are the design we've seen in the past 30, 40 years, right? But with automations and AI and cloud, we don't need these 3 layers, because you probably can get the transaction from digital platform like Line or Facebook. You got the orders, you got the application forms, pass it on to robots to process automations, getting the data back to your back office system without a single human involved in the process. So this operating model will change and will shift significantly. But in a good way, because we can make it thinner, right? Faster, and also less troublesome. And the other industry that I'm trying to point out here is supply chain. I remember 20 years ago when I was in college, there's an MBA program for supply chain management, which is very hot and very popular right then. As an engineering myself, I think this is the one I'm interested in, because it's systematic, it's logics, putting one package to the others, right? Getting the process, the data to flow. But sadly, this field of studies will be replaced by technologies, because supply chain could be run by blockchains with rules from each party, putting that together in the blockchains with digital platform to get information everyone needs to monitor the visibility within the supply chains, to get data from one point to the other much quicker. So that's another disruption. So there are many industries disruption happening, and we all need to really change our mindset. Even I myself, sometimes, I still think in layers, think in hierarchy. We should change that. We should change it to more agile, more flat organization. So, and then we announced that also that ONEWEB also will run on a scalable architecture called Kubernetes with containerizations. The importance of all these technology I'm talking about is we need to put that together to work in a seamless, single environment. And Kubernetes, our open cloud native architectures, will help us do that. We can plug in ONEWEB with IBM, with Red Hat, with Tibero, Oracle, map technology like Longdo map here, or whatnot. Put that together in the same environment, work together, align in a synchronized architecture. And we can scale them quite quickly as well. So we have a deep dive session next to this room with about 230 people attending a deep dive session for us. So we build them, we deploy them within 15 minutes yesterday night to get the environment for you to try. So before, it would take us weeks and weeks, a few software system engineer to install the software, put that database together. Now it's totally changed. We download our software from Docker, which is the cloud providers. We deploy on Kubernetes. The whole process takes 15 minutes. So this is something that we should be focusing on, and also should learn from these technology as well. And a lot of our partners like IBM and Red Hat also provide this architecture to support this community of technology as well. And now we are launching the new features called App Space. As you see the video before, it's a low-code platform. It allows you to build your system without coding, just drag and drop configuration and so on. But within this new version we launched, which is called App Space, you can put those objects together in one workspace where you can change it, deploy it without human involved, all automated. I give you some examples. If the customer call, they want to change the UI, they want to add one field onto your mobile apps. Imagine now, as a developers, how long it takes to do it, how much effort we need to do that. But with App Space, you can change that in the low-code studio, the designer. Then you can click deploy your change to UAT environments for testing. And once you're okay with that environment, another click, you go on to productions. And that's how it will work on our ONEWEB platform. And more than that, you can keep track of changes. For example, yesterday, developer A changed something. If you don't really like to go into production, roll back. We have visual modeling so you can see what changes to your huge and complex business logics. You can do that with App Space. And the next version of us, which is coming out soon, we will create this marketplace where maker like yourself or me can actually build an apps and then share it across the cloud so others can use it. Use it freely or charge it based on whatever you want. But at least we don't have to spend time doing the same thing. For instance, I could be developing an expense approval application for my business. With one simple click, I can share that across the marketplace, and other customer can download the apps through this platform, install on their cloud environment, and run it. And change it if you want, because you can change it using our designer and configurations. And that's the model we are going for. And the next version of our UI, we will support the concept called super app. We talk about super app, which is Grab, Uber, maybe not Uber, Grab, Get, whatever. Everyone tries to be super apps, right? Or WeChat, for example, where within your platform, you have a micro apps running and serving your business needs, which could be a variety of needs, like restaurants, eating, shopping, logistics, transportation. Our new UIs technology will come out later this year. We will allow you to build micro apps so that your users don't have to download from the app stores. You can automatically download your micro apps onto your device anytime, or maybe location-based, for example. We will do that within this year. So this video just gives you a brief overview of what it is, how the App Space works. In this video, we changed the SQL statements, normal tasks of developers. Change the inquiry, take out the where clause, save your configurations, go to the deployment pane, and quickly deploy your objects based on the release control. Deploy them on your environment you want. Boom, your goals. That's how we're going to work within ONEWEB to get you the extreme productivity to make your tasks a lot happier. So no more 2 a.m. deployment time. You can go home, do it yourself, and safely, because every object you deploy within App Space, we keep track of every single object. Whether it's one live code, one button you add, or one pages you build or changes in the platform. Everything will be monitored, tracked, deeply. So this is also address the DevOps requirements. Of course, right now, we're still not supporting an open standard like Jenkins and so on, but in a few months, we also come up with integration to Jenkins, which is the open source DevOps platform, so that we can work hand in hand with no glitch for our end customers. So DevOps give you ability to streamline your development process, the deployment process in your dev operations. So customer will be able to get values, revenue growth, getting your costs down, better service your customers, and finally, you can workforce productivities. So you can use that to do design thinking or creative works. And the journey of getting to low code, for us is 3 steps. One is the pilot. We do ourselves. We do a pilot projects, replicate them across the operations, and then do the advanced, tasks like algorithms or machine learning, analytics, put that into the platform. So you achieve a very comprehensive platform yourself. And for a customer who may want something ready to eat or ready to use, we also have a team to help you build some applications. Example, workforce, HR. We have a complete end-to-end HR management systems that you can actually use from day one, built on ONEWEB, and it will help your HR operation to be more successful. We built a digital platform for e-commerce, for online to offline operations, and for our customer who want to do online selling of your product and services. And it's customizable because it's based on ONEWEB. So I'll end my session with Beyond IT concept. For the past 17 years, we've been helping IT, customer, and business try to improve the operations. But with ONEWEB and cloud, we can actually help in other areas as well. Today, you see the Brain-Computer Interface Lab, BCI Lab. It's also one of the projects we start this year, actually start last month. We spent about 1 week to develop this technology that you see today, to integrate BCI APIs with ONEWEB, to monitor brain signals, and also the muscle signal as well. So you can see the showcase later on in the booth. We also work with the government to develop a platform for connecting workers and companies in EEC area, using ONEWEB as a platform and machine learning as an algorithm to match the skilled workers. We also using ONEWEB to develop a customer experience platform with Siam Cement Group for the solar rooftop business, getting data from IoT on the cloud and build a customer experience to support that. And finally, we are working, of course, for the last 3 months with our AI team to build this visual recognition for insurance business. And that's something that we try out this year, and hopefully we can make it much more accurate and getting the productions to the user as well. So I end my session here with a very simple concepts, and also the belief from ourselves and our organization that everyone should be a maker, some form or another. So let's start. Thank you.
กราบขอบพระคุณนะคะคุณอัครพลบุญวรเศรษฐ์เป็นอย่างยิ่งเลยนะคะประธานผู้บริหารและกรรมการบริษัท Avalant จำกัดนะคะโอเคก็ได้เห็นภาพรวมนะคะถึงความสำคัญของการที่เราจะต้องปรับตัวในการที่ใช้infrastructure นะคะที่เหมาะสมสำหรับการที่ปรับตัวเข้ากับยุค Digital Transformation แบบนี้นะคะ